Like Mercedes said, the way that our education system is working now that we're in a global pandemic has changed drastically. We've gone from seeing our friends, teachers, and classmates every single day to seeing them only occasionally and in some cases not even at all anymore. Losing that social face-to-face interaction is going to affect students a lot in the long run, especially when it comes to getting a career in communications because they're not getting the practice that they need socially. This is a big issue in online classes as well because students don't feel the need to volunteer, speak up, and participate as much as they would in a face-to-face classroom. This is difficult for teachers as well who are trying to teach their lesson because without student participation, there's causing a lot of awkward silences, making it even more uncomfortable for students to speak up, to ask questions, and give their input on what's being discussed. Spending all school day online is causing a huge increase on students' screen time. Instead of going to class and extracurriculars for a couple hours a day, then coming home and having that screen time, they're immediately waking up, opening their computers to attend online classes, extracurriculars, doing hours worth of homework, and then when it comes time for them to have a little free time and relax, they're most likely going to spend it online as well. This is proving to link a lot with an increase of students' anxiety and depression. And it's also a huge issue for students who are finding themselves in toxic households. Students with these mental health issues and at-home issues are no longer able to escape for them for a while. And I'm not saying that a school classroom is all butterflies and rainbows. There's definitely their issues with it as well. But schools do offer those extracurriculars, sports, and clubs that they can join to meet new people and forget about those issues for a little while. It's also proving to be a problem with online school because they don't have that easy access that they otherwise could have to school counselors and teachers' help. Now, another big problem with these online schooling and students' mental health is that it's proving to have a lack of motivation in students, and they're also predicting that students attending these online classes are going to have not as big of an attention span as they otherwise would or should. This is going to cause a lot of difficulties and setbacks later in their lives. And they're already showing to start having some right now. One of the biggest ones being cheating. Students have the lack of motivation to study for tests and learn the material to get a good grade in a class. So instead, they decide to use the internet and textbook resources that they have and pass a test rather than learning the material. This is going to be a huge issue later in life when they're trying to get a career and work up on their career ladder because they're not going to know the material that they would have learned in school because they cheated their way through it. Online classes are also very, very flexible, which can be both a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because it can fit students' schedules better, but it's a bad thing because attendance to class is not as required as it otherwise would be. This is also causing a huge problem when it comes to cheating in classroom exams. This flexibility of classroom attendance is also coming to be an issue because for students' sleep schedules. Students' sleep schedules are starting to become very, very rocky these days. Because we are in a global pandemic, students have been asked to move back home rather than staying at the school that they're attending. And this could mean that they have to move back home to a different state or country, leaving that time zone that their school is in, so that they're having to wake up extremely early or go to bed extremely late in order to attend class and get their assignments in on time. And it's not only an issue for students outside of the time zone, it's also an issue for students within it as well. Students within the time zone are finding it hard to have that discipline to wake up on time and go to bed at a reasonable time for class the next day. This is causing students to have a bad sleep schedule, and they're finding it difficult to fall asleep when it comes time to do so. One of the biggest issues with online schooling is the technological difficulties that can come with it. These technological difficulties can be anywhere from not having the resources that you need, the internet access, the webcam, the microphone, etc., etc. This is a big problem for when students are trying to learn and teachers are trying to teach, because if you have an internet that keeps cutting out, you're not going to get that information you need to succeed in that class later on, which is basically setting up students to fail these online courses. Now, taking into consideration all of this information, a lot of it does go hand in hand with each other. For example, having technological difficulties may be the reason for why students aren't able to participate as much, or having these bad sleep schedules may be why students are having bad mental health problems, and so on and so forth. A lot of it does come full circle. We'll now have Lauren talk about the impact of these learning ways. Thank you.